Stock screen, general overview and layout control. To get to the stock screen, click on Stock Functions on the main menu, then click Stock Manager. The Stock Manager is the back-end part of managing and controlling all of your stock. It's very customizable. Each of the sub-windows can be completely configured and laid out however you want, based or depending on what tasks you're doing. In the bottom right, we'll start with the search. If you leave them all blank and just press search, it shows all products that you currently have in your system at the moment. In the top right up here, you can see it says total number of lines. So that's the total number of lines being shown. Total number of products, in this case 0, because it will ignore negative numbers. Total selling value including tax. And total estimated supplier cost. The reason it says estimated is because it's the primary supplier cost multiplied by the quantity. You can put whatever you want in any of these boxes. So like if I just put the word example, every product with the word example comes up. We haven't got a lot of products in the system at the moment. But if we press clear, we can also clear the list and search based on something else. There are quite a lot of search terms here. So you can actually put one thing in here like that. And then say stock quantity less than 0. And it still comes up with all of them. You press clear, they all disappear and all the search fields are blank. You've got a filter there as well. So since there are a lot of search terms, if I put in the word quantity, for example, all the search terms with the word quantity show up. If you don't have a keyboard, you can click filter there and the keyboard will come up. Also, if you don't have a keyboard for any of the search terms, just click on the little blue button there and type in whatever you want. So example, like that. The little green tick on the right hand side of that is auto search. That means that when you press enter, if you do have a keyboard, it will automatically do a search if it's on. When it's off, as you can see, it doesn't do anything. So I could do that, but only when I press search does it do the search. But if I turn that back on, if it's a text field, it will automatically perform the search straight away upon pressing the return key. Moving on the main grid, you can, providing the columns aren't marked as read-only, you can set your quantities or any value you want by just typing directly into the cell. So if I put 3 in there, that then changes the quantity in stock straight away. If you press search, you can see it's been updated and definitely saved. So I could just put 2 in there and I could change the prices however I want. You can set the categories and so on. Obviously, you can only have so many columns in the grid. So for anything that's a bit more specific, just you can see here, this is all the properties about the particular product that's highlighted. So you could just change the quantity there as well and it'll still update within the grid. You can also bulk update products. So if you selected, say, 2 loads there and chose category and said heating, tick, all products are now set with the category of heating. Very useful for bulk updating products there. Going back to 1, all fields will show normally. Again, this one also has a filter in case you can't find a field, especially if there's quite a few of them. There's many other different little sub-windows around as well, barcodes, images, and I will be going through them in the future video. But the main ones is the search, the properties of the product that's selected, and the grid itself. Okay. If you were to click on products and create a new product, you can obviously create a new product and it gets added to the grid straight away. You can also edit the product using this button here, and it comes up with the same edit product screen that you may have seen in the previous videos. You can edit it either there or directly in the grid, it doesn't matter. Under layout, you can create multiple different layouts for different scenarios or roles. Okay, at the moment we're in the default layout. If I press edit and save layout, I can add, delete or update any of the fields in the grid. So for example, if I wanted quantity and stock to just say quantity like that, press accept. I can say width in pixels, so how wide do I want it to be? 60. If I made it 65, so it should be slightly bigger. If I close this, you see it now says quantity and the column has gone slightly larger. If we go edit and save, I can put it back to 60. -1 means fill the entire column to use as much of the screen as possible. -2 would be fit, which means make the column as wide as it needs to be. But bear in mind that there can be some performance impact when you're using that with a lot of records showing. You can also make them read-only as well, so you can just tick the read-only, press accept, and that means you cannot change the quantity in stock now by typing it directly into the grid. You can do using edit product, but you can't do it on the table anymore. Sometimes quite useful for the product's name as well. You can press add new, and you can add any other columns you want to. So if we chosen, say, manufacturer, let's see if manufacturer is already in the list. It's not. So you press tick. What name do you want to give it? That's fine. Close. And again, you can add any columns you wish to see. Not only can you edit the table layout, you can also adjust the search terms as well. So if I click search, these are all the different search terms, and you can move the ones that you use a lot closer to the top. So barcode contains may be more important than product name equals. Conversely, product name equals is usually quite useless. Product name contains is much better. So you could disable it. So now it's grayed out and you never see it. Finally, we've got property fields as well. These are all the different fields that exist in the middle bottom window. And again, you can move them up and down and disable or enable them as well if some of them are not relevant to your organization. We are always adding more search terms as well, so keep checking. If you need something adding or anything like that, please just contact us if you find a search term that isn't there. Not only that, you can also create a different layout for doing a different role. So for example, if I said this one is for stats, you could add some columns. So I could say product name, quantity in stock, make that 60, make that one fill, add another one. And some of these fields are statistic based, read only. They should say total sold in last let's say 60 days for all stores. Tick, tick, maybe 80. And again, we can have different search fields, property fields in whatever order we want. Close that. And now there will be two layouts. So if we click on stats, you can see these are the stats layouts there, where we've got a statistic-based column. 4 and 5 have been sold across all stores in this particular training scenario. We can also move these little windows around. Perhaps we want the search to be on the right, like this. And I can make it smaller and wider like that. And I can move them all around. I could have my stats maybe as a different sub-column there as well. I haven't got much data there, so that's why nothing's coming up there. If I now go edit and save and just close it, that will have saved the layout of the windows. So if I click default layout, it goes back as it was. But if I go to stats, I get the screen laid out exactly how I wanted it. These little sub-windows could even leave the screen as well. So you can actually drag them out on their own like this, and they can actually go on a separate monitor if you have multiple monitors. So yeah, lay it out completely however you want. There's loads of different sub-windows here. So however it should look is up to you. So you could just keep creating this however you want, especially based on it's also generally based on the size of your screen as well. If you have a back office large monitor, you can probably squeeze quite a lot of information on these on just one monitor itself. Okay, let's go back to the standard layout. Of course, you can delete your layout. You can put it back as it should be based on the normal template. This one's quite a useful button as well. If you turn that on, it'll stay on, and when you press search, it will put the full category path under category, whereas if you don't have it on and press search, you only see the final end node. But as long as you've got the space for the column, it's very, very useful in my opinion. Okay, so that's just a quick general overview of the stock screen. The next videos will be showing you the more intricate features of it.